Today we're going to be studying Psalm 9, verses 1 through 2. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will recount all of your wonderful deeds. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. I love the very first part of verse 1 that says, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. Do you find some days, as I do, that we can kind of start our day and we can be like, oh God, thank you so much for this, and kind of have our quiet time, be in the Word, check that box off, and then rush into our day and try to fill it all up with the rest of what we have to do, our own agenda, our own plans, all of the things that we need to do and get accomplished. I was really challenged by these scriptures because it's very difficult to say that I'm giving thanks to God with my whole heart. There's certainly parts of my heart that give thanks to God, but there's also parts that I just sort of keep back for myself, and I'm trying to accomplish things in my own strength, and parts of it that I'm just still kind of discouraged about, and just still feeling like yesterday we talked about, I'm just really lacking and not really feeling like the prayers have been answered, or this fruit is being grown in my life to the time that I wanted. And so this was such a conviction to really surrender my whole heart to God each and every minute of each and every day. And that is a continual process of this giving thanks to God with my whole heart, with my whole life, with everything in me, every part of me, my heart, my soul, my mind, my strength, giving thanks to God. And that's just really placing my feet on the fact that in every area of my life, whether I see it or not, whether I feel it or not, that God is at work, that He really does have a plan and a purpose, and that every part of my life must be surrendered to Him and to His plans so that He can change me and mold me and make me into more of an example of His goodness, so that I can overflow with every single part of my heart and my life and my strength, that He is truly the one pouring in, and that I'm just pouring out what He has placed into me. Because I tell you, it's easy for us to speak with our mouth that my whole life is surrender Him. I love God with my whole heart. But the truth is, if you're like me, many times we don't live that out. Maybe we're just trying to parent in our own strength, and we really don't trust God with our kids. We're like, I know you're good, but it makes me nervous what you're going to do with them. And so we just take them back and we just say, you know what? I'm just going to keep this part for myself, and you can have the rest, but not this. And so we just sort of keep pulling things back and holding parts of our heart in reserve because we're afraid. We're afraid God's not going to come through. We're afraid He's not going to do what He says He's going to do, and that He's not going to actually be the God that we hope that He is and that we read that He is. We just don't trust Him. We don't believe His word, and we don't believe in His character. And so we just start to try to hold things back, parts of our heart. Maybe it's just like we're talking in church about forgiveness. Like maybe we're just holding parts of our life back that we're like, I cannot let that go. Like I cannot do that. I have to protect that. It is a place of fear. I don't trust you with my hurt. I don't trust you with my past. I don't trust you to love me. I don't trust you to care for me, because I haven't been cared for by those around me. And so we can find that we have walled off parts of our heart from God. We've just held it back and tried to protect it because we think we can do it better. We think that we can provide better for our children or for the people in our lives. Sometimes we are so fearful about our finances or about our jobs that we just sort of hold that back, and we just say, you know what, I can't give, God. Like I cannot tithe. I cannot trust you with that. I'm just going to hold it back, and I'm just not, because I don't trust that you're going to provide for our family. So we just can't give generously, and we can't give to your work in missions, and we really cannot afford it, God. So we're not going to trust you with all of our finances. We're just going to hold that part back. We don't say these things, but we live these things. So we live lives of just pulling back, protecting ourselves. But we have to recognize that we're not protecting ourselves from anything, Because the only person who can heal our hearts, the only one who can satisfy our souls, the only one who can provide financially and spiritually and emotionally for us and our families and our communities and our world is God. And so to pull back parts of our heart from him is absolutely to disassociate ourselves from the very one who is the source of all healing, all hope, all goodness, all graciousness, all strength and wisdom. And so we have to look very honestly at our hearts and say, are we giving thanks? Meaning, are we pouring ourselves out in surrender to God and giving thanks with our whole heart? Have we surrendered that to him? Have we opened our hearts, our minds, our souls, our relationships, our marriages, our parenting, our jobs in trust to him and giving him thanks because he is working in those areas? Or are we holding back certain parts of our heart for ourselves? Because at the core, we really don't trust him. And we can't give thanks to someone that we don't trust is working in our lives. You wouldn't thank someone for a gift that was terrible, like it was a detrimental gift. Like if someone hit your car, you're not like, thank you so much. Like, thank you so much for that. No. When we know that God has given us good gifts, when we recognize his work in all the areas of our life, when we know he is the source of all the good things in our lives, then we give thanks to him. But if we're holding back certain parts, we are disassociating ourselves from that work, and we're not going to give thanks in that area. We can't give thanks in our parenting if we're holding it back from him, or if we're not allowing him to work. When we've just built up walls of protection because we don't trust him with our kids. We're like, no, thank you. If we don't trust him with our relationship with our spouse, so we just build up a bunch of walls. And so we can't give thanks to God because we're not allowing him to work freely. We're not allowing the Spirit to invade every part of our heart. So we can look at our lives and think, are there areas I'm not giving thanks for? Are there places that it's had really difficult for me to give thanks? Maybe those are areas of our life that we have not surrendered to God fully, that we don't truly trust him to do good work in those lives. And we're not seeing it because we are walling ourselves off from it. We are quenching the Spirit's work in that area. And so it's beginning to blind us from who God really is and the incredible character of his existence, of his absolute mighty and incredible work. Because it says in here that I will praise your name, O Most High, that you are the Most High God, and we know who he is, and we trust who he is, and we praise him, and we thank him with our whole heart because we're just seeing this Most High God work in our lives. We trust the Most High God to provide for us because he is the source of everything. He is our provider. He is our healer. He's our sustainer. He's our savior, our deliverer. And one of the key ways that we do that is to recount all of his wonderful deeds in our lives. If we're having trouble trusting him in our parenting, then let's take today for a few minutes and let's make a list of all of the wondrous things he's done in the lives of our children, in the lives of our family. If we're having trouble trusting God and thanking God in our marriage, if we've walled it off and we are not allowing his work in us, let's stop today and let's think of all the things that he's done in our marriage, all of the ways he's provided in our financial state, all of the ways that he has healed our relationships in our heart. Let's go back and recount all of the things that he's done, because when we do that, we will walk forward in faith that he's going to continue to be that Most High God in every area of our lives. We're going to trust him and walk by faith in all of these areas. We're protecting ourselves and holding back our whole heart from him. Let's recount all of his wonderful deeds. So take some time today. If it's in the area of your finances, if it's in the area of your relationships with your family, if it's in the area of your work, if it's in the area of your own personal journey of mental and spiritual and emotional health, take time to recount all the ways in which you've seen God at work and allow those things to encourage and bolster your faith to surrender the other areas that you're holding back, so that you and I can truly give thanks to God with our whole heart, because we're trusting Him with our whole heart. And we are opening our hands and our lives up to Him. And we are saying, God, you are the most high God. You are the mighty provider. You are the loving counselor. You are the Prince of Peace and the Lord of Lords. And you are the healing God and the lover of my soul. And you are good and you are loving and you are mighty to save those around us. And you are mighty to save us from our own selves and our own sin. And because I believe you're the most high God, because I've seen your work throughout my life, I'm going to trust you in these other areas that I'm struggling with right now. So today I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to find the pockets of your life and ask God to reveal the pockets of your life that you're not giving thanks. That you're having trouble being gracious and grateful in. And then recount all the wonderful ways He's been good. And He's been incredible in your life. And ask Him to give you the faith to walk forward instead of in fear, but fearlessly, trusting Him to be the most high God in every single part of your life. I'll see you tomorrow.